Good day everyone. I am Julieto ORQUILLANO Jr. I am second year base criminology in NORSU main campus, Dumaguete City. So I am here to report my presentation, subject CA200 Institutional Correction, Module 3. So my lesson coverage in the Module 3, study in institutional agencies in the Philippines, Code of Kalantiaw, Bilibid Prison, San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm, Iwahig Penal Colony, Correctional Institute for Women, New Bilibid Prison, Davao Penal Colony, Sablayan Penal Farm, Leyte Regional Prison, Provincial Jail System, and Public Attorney's Office or PAO. So, we have here the institutional agencies in the Philippines. So actually there are more of them, but I only choose three, which is we are familiar with, like for example the DILG or the Department of the Interior and Local Government, DSWD or the Department of Social Welfare and the Development, and the DOJ or the Department of Justice. So in definition, the Department of the Interior and Local Government, abbreviated as DILG, is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for promoting peace and order, ensuring public safety, and strengthening local government capability aimed towards the effective delivery of basic services to the citizenry. So, the DILG, or they are focusing or engaging in enforcing law, promoting peace and order, and also preventing criminal act and violence in every society and community. They are also kuan kanang concerns in every problems or services in the citizens. So the following agencies are attached to DILG or the Department of the Interior, Local and Governments. First is kuan kaning Bureau of Fire Protection or BFP. The second is Bureau of Jail Management and Penology or BGMP. The third is ng Philippine National Police or PNP. So let's proceed to BFP, Bureau of Fire Protection. Is responsible for ensuring public safety through the prevention or suppression of all destructive fires on building, houses, and other similar structures. So when we say BFP, they are firefighters. They are ensuring or preventing fire or explosion in every places or particular places. And like for example, buildings, houses, schools, and other similar structure. So next is BGMP or Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. Is mandated to direct, supervise, and control the administration and operation of all district, city, and municipal jails nationwide with prompt task of safekeeping and development of person deprived liberty. So the BGMP is they are personnel who ensuring the safety in terms of sa mga criminal offenders in every all districts, city jail and municipal jails. So they are they are tasked to enforce they are tasked to enforce proper security and safety in every jails, and the development of every person deprived liberty. So next is the PNP or the Philippine National Police. Is tasked with enforcing the law to prevent and control crimes, maintain peace and order, and ensure public safety and internal security with the active support of the community. So they are the personnel. They are tasked or they are tasked to enforce the law in public places, and they are ensuring safety and security in every people to prevent and control crimes in every community. So we have here the Department of Justice or DOJ. So it's under the Executive Department of the Philippine government responsible for upholding the rule of law in the Philippines. It is the government principal law agency serving as its legal and prosecution arm. So when we say DOJ, they are handling, they are focusing or engaging in handling high-profile cases in the Philippines. They are focusing in solving a criminal investigation or crime scene, and also prosecuting offenders. So the Department of Justice, or the DOJ, serve as government's prosecution arm and administers the government criminal justice system by investigating crime, prosecuting offenders, and overseeing the correctional system. So we have here the following agencies are attached to the DOJ, or the Department of Justice. So the first is Bureau of Corrections, or BUCOR. The second is National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI. The third is Parole and Probation Administration, or PPA, and Public Attorney's Office, or PAO. So let's proceed to the first agencies or attached in the DOJ, which is the Bureau of Corrections, or BUCOR. So it's an agency of the Department of Justice which is charged with the custody and rehabilitation of national offenders who have been sentenced to 3 years of imprisonment or more. So kaning BUCOR, o Bureau of Corrections, so they are charged to kanang rehabilitate in every criminal offenders. So they are focusing in treating and healing sa mga prisoners, sa mga criminal offenders who were sentenced to 3 years or more. So let's next is the NBI, or National Bureau of Investigation. So the NBI is an agency of the Philippine government under the Department of Justice. So they are responsible for handling and solving major high-profile cases that are in the interest of the nation. So the NBI is they are personnel. They are tasked to solve mga criminal investigation, and also handling major high profile cases that are the nation have an interest. So next is Parole and Probation Administration, or PPA. So is an attached agency of the Department of Justice which provides a less costly alternative to imprisonment of offenders who are likely to respond individualized community-based treatment program. So based on my understanding, those who first timer criminal offenders will be given this will be given a parole and probation. They will be given a freedom or a second chance, but usa sila tagaan ani, they will be undergoing a rehabilitation. They will be treated well and healing to become a good person, and they will be giving usa na sila tagaan og parole or probation once they are deserving it. Once they are deserve na sila nga moadto sa community. So next, Public Attorney's Office, or PAO. So PAO is shall independently discharges in its mandate to render free of charge legal representation, assistance, and counseling to indigent persons in criminal, civil, labor, administrative, and other quasi-judicial cases. So I know that we all familiar with the PAO, or Public Attorney's Office. This is the mga personnel. This is the attorneys in every government. They provide assistance, free legal charge, and counseling in every court trial. Like for example, those who cannot afford attorneys in defending themselves in the court trial, they will be given. The government will be provide them an attorney in order to provide free assistance in the court trial, or to defend themselves in the court trial. Either they are a criminal or the victims, or either they are the criminal offenders or victim ba sila. So walay gipili ang gobyerno as along patas sila. So if you are dili ko ka-afford, so the government will provide attorney. So lastly is the DSWD, or the Department of Social Welfare and Development. So The DSWD is the primary government agency mandated to develop, implement, and coordinate social protection and poverty reduction solutions for and with the poor, vulnerable, and disadvantaged. So, I know that kuan kaning DSWD kabalo na maguntaan so they are kuan supporting or providing social protection sa mga vulnerable groups such as kuan kaning mga abandoned children, kaning mga abused children, kaning mga orphan, kaning kuan kaning silang mga elderly persons, person with a disability, and also kuan and also mga indigenous people. And also the DSWD, they are also providing relief assistance during the times of calamity and disasters. So that's all that's all the kuan kaning mga agencies in the Philippines. So let me recap. So there are three. So which is the DILG or the Department of the Interior, Local and Government, and the second is the DSWD or the Department of Social Welfare and Development, and the third is the DOJ. So let's proceed to the next topic. Brief history of the Bureau of Corrections. So corrections in the Philippines started during the pre-colonial times. It was, however, organized on individual community basis. It was only during the Spanish regime when an organized corrective service was made operational. So, in kaning na corrections in the Philippines, it was already started during the the pre-colonial times. As we can see in the picture, we can observe that this time it was Spanish time or the pre-colonial times. So, when the American took over in the 1900s, the Bureau of Prisons was created under the Reorganization Act of 1905, Act number 1407, dated November 1, 1905. So, when the times comes, America na pud ang ni-handle or ni-took over in the Philippines in the year of 1900s. They created the Bureau of Prison, was established in the or reorganized in Act number of 1905. So, the main penitentiary was the Old Bilibid Prison in ORQUILLANO Street, Manila, which was established in 1847, pursuant to Section 1708 of the revised Administrative Code. So, it was formally opened by a royal decree in 1865. So, we have here the picture of the Old Bilibid Prison, in ORQUILLANO Street in Manila. So, this was the kaning Old Bilibid Prison. Kabalo man nga naa na may bag-o ron nga iba prison ang nausob naman ni siya, so gitawag ni siya nga New Bilibid Prison in Muntinlupa, Manila. So about 4 years later, or on August 21, 1869, the San Ramon Prison and Penal Farm in Zamboanga was established to confine Muslim rebels and recalcitrant political prisoners opposed to the Spanish rule. So about kanang ni 4 years ni agi kanang the San Ramon Prison Penal Farm in Zamboanga kanang was na established to confine only Muslim rebels and recalcitrant political prisoners. So when we say recalcitrant political prisoners, this is the person, this were the kaning mga people nga against or opposed sa mga laws or rules sa mga Spanish. So mao ni sila gipampriso San Ramon Prison sa Penal Farm in Zamboanga City. So when the American took over in the 1900s, the Bureau of Prison was created under the Reorganization Act of 1905, Act number 1407, dated November 1, 1905, as an agency under the Department of Commerce and Police. So it is also paved the way for the re-establishment of San Ramon Prison in 1907, which was destroyed during the Spanish-American War. So on January 1, 1915, the San Ramon was placed under the auspices of the Bureau of Prison and started receiving prisoners from Mindanao. So during the during the battle between the Spanish and the American War, the San Ramon Prison na naguba or was destroyed during the in the year of 1907. But kuan kanang niabot sa in January 1, the San Ramon prison was placed under the kuan kaning under the control of or under the institution of the Bureau of Prison, and they are also starting receiving prisoners coming from the Mindanao. So produced were transported through rail tracks, a mode which the Americans introduced to prison. So during the kuan kaning during the time they are started receiving prisoners from Mindanao, they are using trail tracks to transport kuan kaning mga prisoners to the Bureau of Corrections, which kaning mga American nag-introduce sa mga prison. So prisoners had to contend with dilapidated facilities with a cramped area. So, before the reconstruction of San Ramon Prison, the Americans established in 1904 the Luhit Penal Settlement, or what we call now is the Iwahig Prison and Penal Farm, on vast reservation of 28,072 hectares. It would reach an aggregate total land area of 40,000 hectares in the late 1950s. So, it was located in the westernmost part of the archipelago and far from the main town to confine incorrigibles who the government had found little hope of rehabilitation. The area was expanded to 41,000 hectares by virtue of Executive Order number 67 issued by Governor Newton Gilbert on October 15, 1912. So the other penal colonies were established during the American regime on November 27, 1929. The Correctional Institution for Women, or the CIW, was created under the Act of 3579, while Davao Penal Colony on Southern Mindanao was opened in 1932 under the Act of number 3732. So during the American regime, there were more institutions were established, like for example kaning Correctional Institution for Women. So they are only cater kaning mga women prisoners. And also the second is the Davao Penal Colony, or in Southern Mindanao, was opened in the year of 1932. So the CIW, or the Correctional Institution for Women, was founded to provide separate facilities for women offenders and to cater to their gender differences. To date, it is the lone women's prisons in the country. So during the time atong sa panahon sa mga American regime, they are already strict na sa mga sa gender in terms of prisoners. So once you are male, so you are belong to the male prisoners, and if you are female, so you will be going to the correctional institution for only women. So owing the increasing number of committals into the old Bilibid prison in Manila, the new Bilibid prison was established in 1935 in a solution suburb of Muntinlupa, Rizal. So, where are we? So, let's proceed to the owing to the increasing number of committals to the old Bilibid prison in Manila, the new Bilibid prison was established in 1935 in southern suburb of Muntinlupa, Rizal. So, the new Bilibid prison was already established during the year of 1935 in a southern suburb of Muntinlupa in Rizal, in Manila. So the old prison was transformed into a receiving center and as a storage facility for farm produce coming from the colonies. It is presently abandoned and under the jurisdiction of the Public Estate Authority. So the old prison, which were the time na na-discover na or na-establish na ang new Bilibid prison. So the old na-transferred siya into a receiving center and they use it as storage facility for the farmers and produce coming from the colonies. So during the giusob na ang old prison, so the prisoners they need to build their own basic housing areas in order to make a shelter for themselves. So they need to build their basic housing or area using materials available in the prison reservation. So after the American regime, two more penal institutions were established. These were Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm in Occidental Mindoro under the proclamation of number 72 issued on September 26, 1954. And the second is the Leyte Regional Prison under the proclamation of number 1101 issued on January 16, 1973. So during the time of American regime, so there were more penal institutions or penal institutions were established. These were the kaning the Sablayan Prison and Penal Farm in Occidental, and the second is the Leyte Regional Prison under the proclamation of number 1101 issued on January 16, 1973. So the Bureau of Prison was renamed Bureau of Corrections under the new Administration Code of 1987, issued on November 23, 1987, and Proclamation number 495 of the President. It is one of the attached agencies under the supervision and control of the Department of Justice. So, one of the ng attached agencies in the Department of Justice, mao na siya ang Bureau of Corrections, which is the kaniyang which is or the Bureau of Prison was which is the na rename siya in the year of November 23, 1987 into a Bureau of Corrections under the proclamation of 495 of the President. So let's proceed to the Code of Kalantiaw. So this Code of Kalantiaw, it was used during the time or way back time of kanang sa Datus. So it is written by Datus Raha Kalantiaw in the year of 1433. So he was chief on the island on the Negros in the Philippines. So let's proceed to the first article 1. So you shall not you shall not kill, neither shall you steal, neither shall you do harm to the aged, lest you incur to the danger of death. All those who infringe this order shall be condemned to death by being drowned in the river or in boiling water. So those the person who violated this act or disobeying this article or laws, or those who kill or steal and those who harm to the aged, they will be facing punishments like condemn to them to death by being drowned in the river or else in the boiling water. So next, we have the article 2. So you shall obey, let all your debts with the headman be met punctually. He who does not obey shall receive for the first time 100 lashes. If the debt is large, he shall be condemned to thrust his hand in boiling water thrice. For the second time, he shall be beaten to death. So, those the person who have debts with the headman, we will be met punctually, and he who does not obey shall be received for the first time 100 lashes. If the kaning offenders is have a big have a debt with very large, his hand will be he shall be condemned to thrust his hand in boiling water thrice, and if this situation will happen in the second time, he shall be beaten to death. So article 3. So obey you, let no one have women that are very young, nor more than he can support, nor be given to excessive lust. He who does not comply with, obey and observe this order shall be condemned to swim for 3 hours for the first time, and for the second time to be beaten to death with a sharp thorn. So this article or this laws, if those person or any those someone who will violate this act or this laws will be beaten to death and will be beaten they will be swim for 3 hours for the first time, and for the second time, if this situation will happen, they will be beaten to death with using the sharp thorns. So next is article 4. So observe and obey, let no one disturb the quiet of the graves when passing by the graves and trees where they are. Give respect to them. He who does not observe this shall be killed by ants or beaten to death with thorns. So those the person who do not show respect when passing by the graves, by the graves, caves and trees where they are walking. those who do not follow and observe this article, they will be killed by ants or beaten to death with using the thorns. So next, let's proceed to Article 5. So you shall obey, I mean, he should exchange for food, let it be always done in accordance with this word. He who does not comply shall be beaten for 1 hour. He who repeats the offenses shall be exposed for 1 day among ants. So in this article, or in these rules, way back before, if someone who exchanges for food, if someone who exchanges for food, it will always be done in accordance with his word. But this type of kuan kaning pamaagi, if does not comply in a kuan, shall be beaten for 1 hour if they obey or violated in this type of article. And once the kuan kaning offenses will happen in the next in the second time, they shall be exposed for 1 day in among ants. So let's proceed to next article, which is the Article 6. So you shall be obliged to reverse sites that are held in respect, such as those of trees of recognized worth and other sites. He who fails to comply shall pay with 1 month's work in gold or in honey. So those the way back before the time of mga kuan sa mga datos, they need to held respect in those such as trees as a recognize them as a work and any other site. So who the person fail, or if the person fails to comply this type of kuan kaning mga rules or laws in kuan this type of Article 6, they shall pay with 1 month work in gold or in honey. So we have here the Article 7. So this shall be put to death, he who kills trees of venerable appearance, who shoot arrows at night at old men and women, if he who enters the houses of the men without permission, he who kills a shark or a strict caiman. So in this article, it stated that if the person kill a trees with a venerable appearance or having importance from the people, and those a person who shoot arrows at night and their victim is the old man and the woman, and also if the person enters in the houses of their master or their headman without a permission, will be punished and will be facing a harsh punishment and will be killed by shark or strict, like being killed by shark or strict by a caiman. So next, let's proceed to the next article. So we have the Article 8. So it stated that slavery for a dome or a certain period of time shall be suffered by those who steal away the woman for a headman, by him who keep ill-tempered dogs that bite the headman, by him who burns the field of another. So this article it says that if the person violated this act, will be slavery for a short period of time. If they they trying to steal the woman away from their headman or their master, and who keep their kuan kanang ill-tempered dogs that bite the headman, and also who burn the fields of another. So they will be facing punishments like slavery for a short period of time once they are violated this article or laws. So next is Article 9. So all this shall be beaten for 2 days who sing while traveling by night, kill the manual, tear the document belonging to the headman, are malicious liars, or who mock the dead. So those the person who sing traveling by night, killing the manual, tearing apart the documents belonging to the headman or of their master, or being a malicious liars, and also who mock the dead, will be beaten, will be facing a punishment like beaten for 2 days until they died. So next, let's proceed to the next article, which is the Article 10. So it is decreed an obligation that every mother teach secretly to her daughters matters pertaining to lust and prepare them for womanhood. Let not be men cruel or punish their women when they catch them in the act of their adultery. Whoever shall disobey shall be killed, being to cut into pieces and thrown to the caiman. So those the men who treated their woman or wife as a pet or punish them and cruelty punish them, uh, and once they are catch them in the act of adultery, they will be killed by being cut into pieces and thrown to the caimans. Those whoever those whoever violate in this acts, mostly this happens into the kaning mga men. So let's proceed to the next article. So article 11, they shall be born who by their strength or cunning have mocked at and escape punishment, who have killed young boys or try to steal away the women of the elders. So those the person who violated these laws, or those who trying to steal away the woman from the elders or from the chief, or the person who killed a young boys will be facing a death penalty, or shall be born alive until they died. So let's proceed. So article 12, so they shall be drowned. So all who interfere with their superiors or their owners or masters, all those who abuse themselves through their lust, those who destroy their anitos or idols by breaking them or throwing them down. So in this article, it stated that those who are trying to break the anitos or idols, and who were trying to interfere their superiors and their owner or their own masters, all, and also those who abuse their kanang ilahang master through their excessive lust, will be violated or will be face the punishment and will be drowned until they die. So next, we have the article 13. So it stated that all this shall be exposed to ants for a half day, who kill black cats during a new moon, or steal anything from the chiefs or agorangs, however a small object may be. So way back before the time of mga datos, it is restricted nga dili ipinagbabawal nga killing black cats during the new moon. Kay murag I believe that there's some reasons nga ipinagbabawal nila ni. So and also some, if those are people trying to steal anything from the chiefs or agorangs, either small objects or big objects, they will be face na mga punishments. So they will be exposed to ants for a half day once they violated this type of article or these laws. So let's proceed to the article 14. So they shall be made slave for life, who have beautiful daughters and deny them to the sons of chiefs, and with the bad faith hide them away. So mostly those people or those family trying to having a daughter with a beautiful daughters, and trying to deny them to the sons of chiefs, they will be, and also having a bad faith or hiding them away, they will be they will become face consequences, or facing consequences as being a slave for their life once they are violated, or once they are violated this type of law. So let's proceed to the article 15. So concerning beliefs and superstitions, this shall be beaten who eat the diseased flesh of beasts which they hold in respect, or the herb which they consider good, who wound or kill the young of the manual or the white monkey. So those the person who kanang violated this act, or the person trying to eat the diseased flesh of beasts which they hold respect, because I believe that they showed respect if the someone beast died because of the disease, and or the herb which they considered good, who wound or kill the young of the manual or white the monkey, or who killed the white monkey, they will be will be beaten until they die. So next is article 16. So we have here the fingers shall be cut off, all those who break idols of wood and clay in their alagans, and temples of those who destroy the daggers of the tagalons or break the drinking jars of the latter. So in this article, so those person who trying to break the idols of wood and clay in their alagans and temples,
And when we say wood and clay in their alagans and temples, I can say that or I believe that in during the way back before the time of mga datos, they believe that they carve woods and clay into their diyosa and diyosa. That's why if someone trying to break their kuan sa ilahang mga idols, they will face consequences, or they will be or someone disobey these rules, they'll ilang finger will be putlan silang finger or kuan once they violated this act. And also who trying to destroy their daggers of the Tagalans or break the drinking jars of the latter. So those who break this rule or laws, they will be facing, or they will be their finger will be cut off into pieces. So next, Article 17. So this shall be killed who profane sites where idols are kept and sites where are buried and sacred things of their diwatas and headmen. He who performs his necessities in those places shall be burned. So those in this article, so those who trying to enter or go to the sites where the idols are kept and sites where are buried some of the important sacred things of their diwatas and headmans, and also performing their necessities of those places shall be burned. So once they are violated this act or founded that they are guilty, that they violated this article, they will be born alive and they will be burned alive until they die. So let's proceed to the last article, which is the Article 18. So those who do not cause these rules to be obeyed, if they are headmen, they shall be put to death by being stoned and crushed. And if they are agorangs, they shall be placed in rivers to be eaten by sharks and caimans. So, in this article, it stated that once the person do not or disobey or violated the 18 articles of Code Kalantiaw, they will face punishments like either they are headmen, they will be put to death by being stoned and crushed, and if they are algorangs, they will placed to rivers to be eaten by sharks and caimans. So as I have said earlier, they have the Code of Kalantiaw is having 18 articles and different punishments. So this was implemented and followed during the time of kuan sa mga datos. They use it as a laws. Once someone violated or disobeying these type of laws, they will be facing different punishments according to their offenses or according to their wrongdoings or violent acts. So, and also in addition, I believe that this code of Kalantiaw is no longer used nowadays because as we observe in this mga article they have a different punishments and very brutal and not acceptable today.